Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip, and I am, and you're not, but I am. So how you doing? What's going on? Guys, I've made some food. Look at my pictures of the food that I've made. I'd really kind of like to tell these stories and cook at the same time. What do you think? But it's just too small in here to do that. But I would like to do that at some point. You know, who knows? Who knows? Cook and talk. Cook and crime. There you go. Cook and crime with Toddy One Skip. Hey guys, seriously. Gypsy Rose. Hi. So we have seen, sorry guys, but we have seen the same behavior with Gypsy before the crime, after the crime, and where is it now? Gypsy is super hyper sexual. She has got to be one of the most perverse people that I've ever heard stories about. She's just so kinky and so off about it. And she says like, this is when I was a child. You guys are like reading my diary. This isn't a diary that somebody opened. This isn't what that is, Gypsy. Because if it was a diary that somebody, this was made for people to read, especially because some of this stuff not only was sent to people to read, but it was also told to you that while you're incarcerated, everything that you touch and do is subject to somebody else's looking at. That's just the way it is. And you know this because you know it. But you disregarded it because, as always, your need and desire to do something far outweighs the ultimate consequence of what's going to happen. Because, see, you think you're always smarter than the consequence. You say, or you seem to think you play, what's the saying now? 3D chess. But you don't. Because, see, now you're out here in the real world and your behavior is right on time for the way it's been. For the way that it's been, where did it go? Especially when you've done nothing to work on this behavior except find excuses, lie about it, sweep it under the rug. That's what you've done. You've not done anything to address anything. We haven't seen any work on anything, just a bunch of holidays and a bunch of rewarding you for bad behavior. If you look at the disciplinary reports on Gypsy, they were in the sexual nature. They were with the don't follow the rules, no use of authority, always questioning and challenging, always trying to get one over, to show people the way she sees the world. Great salesperson for people like Brie. Mindless minions, great salespeople, great cult leader for somebody who's missing something in their life, and Gypsy will love bomb them and make them feel important, even though her importance is infamy, not famous. She's not famous. It's infamous. It's infamous for unaliving her mom. It's infamous for having Nick, by taking Nick in, by planning all this to a guy who's mentally challenged, and then walking away, and then even getting better by getting these letters that now can hurt Nick when Nick's trying to get some sort of fair trial. Isn't that suspicious? Ask yourself that. We'll do a video on what's up, how Gypsy get these letters at the same exact time that Nick needs to speak. Where is that? What's up with that? I'm just asking. But back to what we're talking about here. Gypsy's behavior hasn't gone anywhere. And she has a child. She has a child that in her own mind, in own handwriting, and her own thoughts, I don't care what Brie says, it was Gypsy that came up with the idea. Now, listen, maybe it was some weird, messed up fantasy. That's alarming enough. But what if it wasn't? We already know that Gypsy's wonkadoodle to the extreme, the biggest extreme of wonkadoodle. It's not funny. Some of this shit isn't funny. We can laugh at a toothbrush. What's the harm? You just get another toothbrush, right? But when it comes to real people, not so much. It's not so funny, you know? Where has Gypsy's bad behavior gone? It's still here, guys. It's still very much alive. But who's the result of that now? Who is she writing to now? Who is she confiding in now? Who is taking that now? Because it's got to be going somewhere. It just doesn't go away. Especially now we've seen that it didn't even go away when it was in prison. It wasn't going to go away when it was in prison, but that would be the one time that you think it would, because it'd be hard. It'd be something that would be difficult. And there's consequences that come with it. But nonetheless, and this is somebody, just so that we're clear, because this is the pattern. If Gypsy was ABUSED the way that she wants you to believe that, she wouldn't have the confidence to do this or the attitude that the world owes her something. It's because her mom made her think that the world owes her something, that she has this bad behavior that has just spiraled out of control. I always said the Frankenstein, right? That Dee Dee created the Frankenstein. Gypsy's the Frankenstein. She's the Frankenstein. And she walks around like none of this should apply to her anymore because she's changed. Well, show us the change, because that we haven't seen. Show us that. And what about the responsibility of what happened? Why should Nick's behavior matter back then and your behavior doesn't matter from a week ago? How do you figure that? I'd like to know, where is that? How does that work for you? Show me how that maths. Show me how that makes any kind of sense. That, again, is an attitude. That's a privilege. That's a privilege, because that's the way Gypsy was brought up, with privilege, rubbing elbows with celebrities, seeing exhibits that some of us will never get to see, going places, being treated a certain way. That's privilege. That's not ABUSE. It's not. Guys, tell me what you think. I mean, seriously, where do you think the next pop-up will be that will be the major thing about Gypsy? Where do you think that's going to be? What's the next plan here? What do you think her next step is? Her 3D chess game. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And check out my other channel. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. I appreciate you guys so much. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys.